Hello everyone and welcome back to Beck's Flavor. Thank you so much to my loyal subscribers for coming back and watching my videos. But if this is your first time on my channel, I'd like to give you a very warm welcome. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I would love to have you as part of the family. So today I am sharing with you my easy recipe to making authentic Ghana tea bread. All right, as you can see, it is soft, it is lovely, it is the best recipe that you will try, and it's easy to make. So let's go straight into this video. So for this recipe I am using strong bread flour. I will explain the reason in a minute. And then I'll also be needing my nutmeg, some salt, some yeast, unsalted butter, vanilla extract, some warm water and some sugar. I'm going to add my salt just on the side of the flour as I do not want the yeast and the salt to mix together. If you mix the yeast and the salt together, this might stop the yeast from activating and you don't want that. That's why I am adding them in two different places. So I'm going to mix the sugar and the yeast. My yeast is instant active yeast. That's why I'm not activating it before using it. But if you have any other yeast, you may need to activate it a little bit in warm water and some sugar, and then you can add it onto your flour. Now I'm just going to grate in about half of my nutmeg. I love nutmeg in my tea bread, so you know, if you don't want too much, just add a little bit because it's very strong. And then just go ahead and mix everything together. We'll be using a stand mixer today to knead my dough, but of course you can use your hand to knead your dough if you don't have a stand mixer, or you can use a handheld mixer if you have one. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in my vanilla extract. I'll list all the measurement in the description box below, so don't worry about the measurements. Then I'll be adding in my water gradually as I go along because different flours take water differently. So you want to make sure that you're adding your water gradually as you go along. And as I mentioned previously, I am using bread flour because the protein content in the bread flour is more than the normal flour, so it gives you a more softer bread. But you can of course use normal flour if that's what you have at hand. It is equally fine, but I noticed that the bread flour gives me a nice and softer bread. Now that my dough has been kneaded for about 5 minutes, I'll be going ahead and adding my butter now. And you may ask why I didn't add my butter before, but if you add your butter before, it will hinder the gluting process. So if you knead your dough before without the butter, it will make sure that your gluten is activated and your bread is more softer. So when you add your butter later, it doesn't interfere with the gluting process. So this is really crucial. Make sure you add your butter when you've already kneaded your dough for about 5-10 minutes. Then you can add your butter. It does make a lot of difference, guys, trust me. And now after about 10 minutes of kneading, my dough is ready and I'm just going to leave it to rest for about 10 minutes. I'm covering the dough for about 10 minutes. I won't let it rise, you know, that long, and then I'm just going to shape it into my desired shape. On my worktop, I'm just going to put some flour on there before I put the dough because I don't want it to stick. adding a bit more flour just on the top so that I can just knead it a little bit. I don't want it to stick on my fingers, and I was just kneading this to get out any air that was trapped into it whilst it started to rise. I will then go ahead and cut my dough into 2 equal sizes. You can cut them in 4, but I like my loaf to be a bit big, but you can cut them in 4 if you like thinner loaves. Then use your roller pin to just stretch it out so that you can try and form sort of a loaf, a tea bread loaf. If you can't get the forming right, don't worry, it doesn't matter. It's the taste that matters, okay? But just try and get the shaping right if you can. If not, you can always form them in sort of a ball, and you can just have a ball, if that makes sense. So this is how I'm shaping mine. I'm just rolling it and folding it over and then pinching it down so that it doesn't leave any gap. And that's basically what I'm doing. It takes a bit of practice, so don't worry if you don't get it right the first time. Just work with it and see how you get on with it. Then I'll place that onto a baking sheet on my baking tray. And then I'll go ahead and do the same for the next dough as well. Like I said, just see what works for you on how to shape your bread, but it doesn't matter if you don't get it right the first time. I'm now going to cover it up and leave in one place so that it can double in size, and then I'll be putting this in the oven after it's doubled. Now it's doubled in size, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some flour on it just to get that authentic feel, okay? And then I'll be putting this in the oven for about 45 minutes on 120 degrees, very low heat, not too high. After about 45 minutes, my bread is ready, okay? If you give it a bit of a knock and it sounds hollow as if it's empty inside, then you know that your bread is fully cooked and it's ready. Look at how lovely that is looking. I mean, so good, okay? It's not hard at all. It's so easy to make. Look at how soft it is and how lovely it is. I truly recommend this recipe because it is really good, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and share this with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my upcoming videos. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.